Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, or the FCRA, which is back in the spotlight after the Kerala Assembly passed a resolution urging the centre to withdraw the proposed amendments. Now, the Kerala Assembly, which mounted a strong challenge to the centre's proposed FCRA amendments, passing a resolution that calls for their immediate withdrawal. Now, the House argues that while transparency in foreign funding is important, but the new provisions could make the work of genuine charities and civil society organizations significantly more difficult. Now, this is what they have been now proposing. Speaking of this resolution that actually points out that the central government's FCRA directives will adversely affect the smooth functioning of the voluntary charity institutions that are working in social, health, educational, and also when it comes to charitable sectors of the country, and in particular in Kerala, where it has also noted that the amendments made to the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act and the provisions that has been introduced in Parliament under the guise of ensuring transparency, according to when it comes to the Assembly in the government in Kerala, they are now saying that it actually destroys the autonomy and democratic freedom of the action of civil society organizations. So what has now come across? Because when we speak of the centre's proposed FCRA amendments that are actually seeking to tighten the regulatory framework of the governing foreign funded organizations in the country, where the government says that the changes are aimed at strengthening oversight, also improving accountability, and also to ensure that foreign contributions are used only as for legitimate purposes. So we are looking at a resolution that has been made against this, where the proposals, according to the central government, include stricter registration, renewal norms, and also enhanced disclosure requirements for key office bearers, and also tighter compliance for NGOs operating across the states, and the appointment of a designated authority in certain cases involving foreign funded organizations. And this is now coming in from the government of India, saying that the amendments will then boost transparency and will curb the misuse. So this has been the debate there, what we are now looking, the debate over the FCRA that has now come in the backdrop of a significant reduction in the number of organizations that are authorized to also receive foreign funding. And when we speak of the details, because this is now coming across, according since 1976, over 20,700 FCRA licenses that have been cancelled. In the last 5 years alone, around 6,600 FCRA licenses have been cancelled, and as of today, around 14,456 active FCRA licenses. So because of the FCRA law, monitoring of the foreign contributors with wrong intentions is likely to increase, as a strict surveillance system is now being put in place for the wrongdoers. Let's in the meantime get you this breaking update, because the CPIM, which has also criticized the proposed FCRA amendment bill, alleging that it is a political move by the NDA government to pressurize NGOs and organizations that are receiving foreign funds. Now, the party has been claiming that the amendment would impact minority institutions and has also described it as an authoritarian move that needs to be opposed. Now, this is a reaction coming in from the CPIM side.
FCRA amendment is a clear political move of the NDA government to threaten NGOs, submit them to their dictates. It is also a Damocles wall hanging above all the minority institutions which receive financial support from outside. So it's an authoritarian move which will have to be opposed and will be opposed.
So, Arpita, good morning. Because following the presentation of the resolution in the Assembly, even the BJP had tried to move at least 3 amendments, but the Chief Minister had strongly opposed those amendments, saying that it went against the very crux of the resolution before it was taken up and passed in the Assembly.
Well, good morning, Amrita. Rightly said, it was the Chief Minister who had moved the resolution which stated that FCRA Amendment Bill and Contribution Amendment Rules 2026 would plunge voluntary organization functions in the country into a crisis. And not just the UDF, it was backed by LDF, the opposition in the state, even though there are 3 BJP MLAs in the Assembly. Only 2 of them were present yesterday. They tried to move this. They voted against it, but since there were the majority was but the government, they passed the resolution in the state. Now, Chief Minister B.D. Satishan said that Foreign Contribution and Amendment Rules 2026 notified by the centre will adversely impact voluntary charitable organization functioning in the state. That that is mainly health, social welfare and charity sectors.
So they've taken up this resolution against the FCRA opposing, when it comes to the amendments and saying that it very well went against the crux of the resolution despite certain amendments that were sought by the BJP, the opposition in this case. Thank you very much, Arpita, for joining us here on the broadcast. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we'll join you on the other side of a very short break. The morning news continues.